Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to create and use Kahoots in training sessions. The first thing is, if you're not using a company or a business login, then you can create a free login where you get to use some of the features, not all of them. So if you go to create.kahoots.it, and you can create your login. Down the side here we have a menu, so I'm going to have a look. There's different Kahoots that you can play that are already there, with different topics, so you can always find something. I like to create my own because they're specific to what I've been teaching in the class and the content that we're using. So if we go down to library on the left-hand menu here, you'll be able to see some of the Kahoots that I've created. So I just keep it pretty simple. I use the code for the unit and VC for virtual class. We've got 1 and 2. So, that shows you how many questions there are. To play one that you've already created that's in your library, you just need to play host live. It does also show you how many times they've been played. So this is with my current class. Some of them we've played a couple of times. And they really are, the students will study the content to win Kahoots before they will study to pass their assessments. So it is a great learning tool, and it's a really great way to review what you've covered and to also see where the students are at with their knowledge. So we'll have a quick look at this one. This is one that we did recently, and it will show you the questions that I've got. You can edit if you want to update something. So what is regulation, human resources, and there's a typo, so I will edit that one. So you can do quizzes and true or false with the free options, or if you've got a subscription or using a business subscription one and logging in, there will be other types of questions as well. So for this one, for the quiz, it gives you type in the question and between 2 and 4 answers, and you select which answer is correct. Now, the hardest part of doing these is trying to figure out the wrong answers. So the right answers are there. They're easy because you've got the content to pull that from, but sometimes you need to think creatively to create a wrong answer. But it can be a lot of fun. So this one is, what is a regulation? And the wrong answers are a type of legislation, WHS, or policy, because they're keywords that have been used throughout this the content that we were learning. The correct answer is a guide on how to comply with legislation. So when students are playing, this one I've given just 20 seconds. A tip is to not have the answers too long, because they only have 20 seconds. You can make it 30 or 40 seconds if you like, but if you have the answer too long, it is too hard to read when they're trying to be quick to select the answer. So if you're going to have a bit more length, make the question a bit longer, such as this: recruitment policies do not need to relate to organisational goals, and that's a true or false one, so it's just going to be short answers. So you need to have, the questions can be a little bit longer because you read that out before the answers are displayed. So don't make the answers too wordy, because if they are, it doesn't work so well. So this one I've only done 3 responses. So policies must define, and they've got recruitment, guidelines, or lunch breaks. So you can have a bit of fun and create some fun things there. And which legislation relates to confidentiality and privacy, and we've got a few options there as well. So that's what it looks like when they're complete. And I will show you how to create one now. So it's just up the top right here, you go create, and you're going to do a Kahoot, not a course. So you create a Kahoot. Sometimes it's a little bit slow. You can do question generator, which is based on AI, so you can upload a PDF. I prefer to just create it myself. There's templates of things, but I'm just going to go blank canvas. You can add pictures and things. With the free account, you only get a certain amount, or you can upload some media. So you only get a certain number of free pictures to add for those. Here's our sidebar here. So question 1 will be a quiz, and you can add questions. You can add slides if you want, and then ask questions. Over the right hand side here, we have the options, so we can change it here. Actually, I want to do a true or false. These ones with the stars where they have to type an answer or pin an answer and stuff, these are, or puzzles that you have to put together. They're more premium, but you can do quizzes and true or false for the free version. And you can do polls and everything on the extra when you're paying for a subscription. So this first one, we're going to do a quiz. You enter your title up here. So this one we're going to call SB Ops 502, and it's going to be VC4, so our virtual class 4. You can put a description in if you like. You can create different folders to save it to, and select your language. Is it public or private? I don't really care if anyone else is using my Kahoots. They can have some fun with it. And then we just go done. So that's how we create the name of it, which you can change. There you go, it's saved. So for this question, I'm going to go to some PowerPoint slides now that I'll be using for this class. And it's about monitoring and reviewing operational performance, which I know sounds really exciting, but it can be with Kahoots. So we'll start with a question here. So we've been looking at key performance indicators. So a really fun one to get started with. I think we'll create some fun here, and I'm going to put the question as KPI or and then I'm going to put the correct answer. I like to shuffle them around. You don't want the first answer to be correct all the time. So I'm going to put, we'll go with the third one, key performance. I want to upload a file, thank you. I'm going to go key performance indicator. And you can add more answers if you have the premium version, but it can, too many different responses can make the gameplay not as good. Now this is the correct answer, so that's where I'm going to select the tick there. So now we need some incorrect answers. So could be, we're going to make a tricky one, key policy. I just make it up, but sometimes it's hilarious with some of the wrong answers, and that's not correct, so I'm not going to select that there. Sometimes you can have more than one, but again, you have to select here on the sidebar to have multiplayer options, and I think that might be in the premium version as well. So we'll just double check that. Yeah, multi-select, you would need to upgrade the selection. So we'll just have one correct answer. And we need another one. So Katie Price Incorporated. Again, sometimes they're trying to go so quick to get more points, because the faster you get the right answer, the more points you get, and the top of the ladder you get. That they hit the wrong answer, and sometimes it can be really funny. So we'll do that. So this one, I think 20 seconds is more than enough to get the answer. If it times out, they don't get any points. And points, we can do standard, but you can also do double points, which again I think is a premium one. you know, or you can have a no points answer. I just generally leave it standard, but you can do a bonus points at the end, especially would be especially fun if there's a lot of competition in a close game. And often the second time you play it, sometimes I'll play it at the end of a session and then as a warm up at the start of the next session, especially if there's still a couple of people waiting to turn up. Then I play the Kahoots as a refresher, and it just brings them back to it, and often they'll remember stuff from the previous class. Also, if they think they're going to miss out on Kahoots, I might get them to turn up a bit quicker. It's for something so simple, it has a really big impact in training. So this one, now we're going to press save because we've done that. Changes are saved. I'm not ready to do it. So we're just going to go done. Oh, so that you can come back and add to it, which is what I did because I'm not quite ready to finish. One question's really not enough. I wouldn't do more than 10 or 11, but also I wouldn't do less than 5 generally. So we'll do one more on this one and then do a preview, and I can come back later and add more for my actual class. So I can go edit Kahoot here. So I find it in my library and I can go, okay, let's edit it. And we've got the KPI question there. No, thank you. I don't want to use my one free image. I'm going to add a question and then we get to select again true or false this time. And I'm going to go back to my slides and this time I might do reduce employee absenteeism. So reduce employee absenteeism is an example of, and then I have on this slide, let's make it nice and easy, 3 options: is it a strategic, a KPI, or a target? So I'm going to put of a target, and that's actually the correct answer is false because it's not. It is actually an example of a key performance indicator. So I'm going to do that wrong. There will be probably half of them on the first time that get it wrong because they'll go, oh no, that's true, and then it'll make them look at it more. It also gives us a chance to explain why it's wrong while we're playing the game, and generally because it's kind of relevant in the moment, that's when people tend to do some additional learning. Okay, so we can add more slides, but we're just going to use these 2 questions as a really quick example. So I'm going to save that. When you play it live, we're going to do a preview one, but when you host it live, it will come up with the game code and everyone needs to log in, and they log in by going to kahoot.it. So we're using create-kahoot.it because we're creating, but we'll just do a preview one. So launch a trial session. Just to show you how it works. So sometimes it can be a little bit slow on Teams, but sometimes it works okay. It just depends, I guess, on the time of day or night. So it's always a good idea to test it out first because you can pick up any little mistakes, but sometimes the mistakes can just add to the fun of the game. It's pretty good. So this is in the preview. It will show you, so up on the board, it will come up with, and you put your game code in. So this is what it looks like on a phone. So everyone gets their phones out and they put the game pin in here. So while it's loading on our Classroom Blackboard, which will be obviously, if you're in person, you would have it on a screen, or you would share the screen for, on Teams or whatever. So the game pin's coming up. So the students all need to, so this is what I would have on my screen, and on their phone they would all put the game pin in, and it's 3222540. And you do have some really groovy music, so if you're doing it online, make sure you share the sound when you're sharing your screen. I don't think I have this time, but that's okay. So we go enter, and while it's waiting for players, then it asks for a nickname. I'm just going to put Lisa. And so sometimes I come up with some cool nicknames or some funny ones, and it generally assigns them with a picture. So that's me there. You can then change it if you want. They can change it, and I might go Frosty the Snowman. And it didn't like me changing it. Anyway, so we'll start the game. Once everyone's logged in and you've got, say, if you've got 5 people and there's 5 nicknames up there, we go start. And you can see what they'll see on the screen and also their phone. All right. So this is where I read out the questions. So question 1 of 2. KPI stands for, and then it comes up, we go Key Policy Insurance, KD Price Incorporated, or Key Performance Indicator. Now they will select the correct answer on the screen. Let's see if I'm correct, and I am. So I'm on the podium. So then we can see how many people got it right, everyone, because there's only one player, and how many people got it wrong. And this is where I would then explain if there was a fair few people didn't get the right answer. I would explain why the answer isn't KD Price Incorporated. But generally it would be more if there was some different options in there, and it's a great learning time. And it shows us. I know I'm on the podium. And if anyone's sort of late or gets kicked off, the game pin generally stays up there. Oh, it didn't show us the podium. That's okay. Reduced employee absenteeism is an example of a target. Is that true or false? Now we just created it so we know it's false, but I'm just going to show you what happens with the wrong answer. I'm going to say it's true. Oh dear, I lost my streak. So they get more points the quicker that they answer, and also there's more points for a streak, so the more answers you get in a row. So yes, got that wrong. It shows the correct answer. I would explain why it was false, and we would have a little talk about that. Now, if you had, say, 10 people in the class and 9 of them got the wrong answer on this one, then I would know the next session, or I would need to focus on that, or I would then also perhaps do something in our discussion groups or do a short video, and just to help them understand that concept. So I do like how it says we believe in you on there. That's really cool. And now that at the end of the game, so you obviously have more questions, and it does show you the podium, who's coming in the top 5 on the way. And it's got drum roll, and then it shows 3rd place. We had no one. 2nd place, we had no one. And yay, with 650 points, Lisa won. So that can be a lot of fun too. And sometimes I do actually share the, like I'm a knowledge champ. Sometimes I actually share a picture of the podium in our discussion groups and the announcements, so everyone can see who won and what the points were, and it can be a lot of fun. So now that preview's done, and that's pretty much how you set up and play Kahoots. So I'm going to go done on that, and yeah, obviously I will add some more questions, but that will be in my library to add to, and also it will be in my library to play. When I'm ready, I would post live. So here's where, and I haven't done this yet, and I probably will, because I will probably do them by unit. Because there will be quite a few units, and it just means that I can find them easier once you start doing a few and building up a few in your library. Then that's probably going to be easier to find, and I can then move them into my folder. So your folder has no more folders. Okay. Anyway, so because I haven't quite finished that. So you can add your folders and move them in there. Some other things, as well as topics that we've maybe covered in a session or on a particular thing that you want to do, I also do one that's my rules, which is a little bit of fun too, and it sings just a quick example so you can have lots of fun with it. You know, question 1 is of my rules, and the answer is keep it simple and don't make things harder than they need to be. Question 2 is don't stress, but we've added don't be cruel, panic at the disco, and stress more. Somebody accidentally hit that once, and that was a little bit funny. If you do start to stress, what do you do? Actually, we had 2 answers there, so maybe I can. Drink coffee, remember rule number 1, give up or give in. So have a bit of fun with it, and just having a couple of little fun things like this can be helpful, especially if you're doing a session that you maybe get through a little bit quicker than you expected and you need to fill a bit of time. Having something like this to have some fun with, or just playing a couple of Kahoots from the previous sessions can be really good. Another idea is to play the Kahoots before you learn the content and see how much people know, so that can be a really good way to do it as well. So happy Kahooting.